The bullet tore through me like a promise I never meant to keep. I remember the heat first, hot metal ripping flesh, then the wet bloom of blood soaking my shirt. His mother's scream cut off behind me as I hit the rough concrete of the sidewalk. Gunshots still cracked through the night air. Tires screeched. Men shouted in Italian from the shadows across the street. But all I could feel was the weight of his eyes finding me through the haze of cordite and streetlight. He didn't run to her. He came to me. I'd heard the name before that night. Alessandro Moretti. Whispered in the cafe kitchen when certain men came in. Spoken like a prayer or a curse. Head of the family that owned half the city's shadows. Cold, ruthless, untouchable, but I'd never seen him in person. He didn't visit places like my cafe. He sent representatives, underlings. His mother was the only Moretti who crossed our threshold, yet there he was, on his knees beside me on the blood-slick pavement, suit jacket already off, pressing it hard against the hole in my side. His hands didn't shake. His face was stone. But his gaze. God, that gaze pinned me harder than the bullet. "You stupid girl," he said, voice low, lethal. "Why?" I couldn't answer. Blood filled my mouth. I only stared at him, at the sharp cut of his jaw, the black ink crawling up his neck from beneath the white collar, the way danger poured off him like expensive cologne. I shouldn't have been there at all. I was nobody. A waitress who poured coffee for, made men, and kept my eyes down. My father had owed them money once, money he paid with his life when I was 16. They hanged him from a bridge, left him swinging for 3 days. The message was clear. Debts get paid, one way or another. I learned early. Stay small, stay invisible. Never owe the Moretti family anything. But his mother came into my cafe every Tuesday. Alone. No bodyguards. Which should have been my first warning that something was wrong. She ordered espresso and sat by the window, watching the street like she was waiting for someone who never showed. She always left a $50 tip and a soft, "Grazie, cara." I started saving those bills in a jar behind the register. Stupid. Sentimental. But her sad eyes reminded me of my own mother. The way she'd looked out our apartment window in the months before my father's debts caught up with him. Before she drunk herself to death, trying to forget the sight of him swinging in the wind. That night, I saw the car slow outside the cafe, just as she stepped onto the sidewalk. Black SUV, windows down, the glint of a barrel catching streetlight. I didn't think. I ran, pushed her out of the way, took the shot meant for her, and now here we were. His hands red with my blood. He scooped me up himself. Bullets still flying. His men poured out of nowhere, forming a wall around us. I remember the smell of his skin. Gunpowder, cedar, something darker. I remember thinking, this is how I die. In the arms of the devil I was warned about. But I didn't die. He took me to a private clinic that didn't ask questions. Paid in cash. Stayed in the room while they dug the bullet out. Never left. When I woke, he was in the chair beside the bed, sleeves rolled up, watching me like I was a puzzle he intended to solve. "You saved my mother," he said. I tried to laugh. It hurt. Didn't plan to. "Why did you?" I looked away. Couldn't tell him about the jar of 50s. Couldn't tell him how her lonely eyes reminded me of my own mother before everything went to hell. Couldn't tell him I hated his family and everything they stood for. Yet, I'd bled for them anyway. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You're in my debt now, or I'm in yours. Which is it?" I met his stare. Neither. Something flickered in those dark eyes. Amusement, or warning. They kept me in his house to recover, a fortress on the cliffs outside the city. Guards everywhere, cameras. His mother visited once, kissed my forehead, called me Angelo mio. Then she left, and he stayed. He brought meals himself, sat in silence while I ate. Sometimes he asked questions. Simple ones. My favorite color? The music I played when no one listened. I answered, because the painkillers loosened my tongue, because his voice felt like velvet dragged over broken glass. One night the power went out. Storm raging outside. I woke to thunder and found him in my room lighting candles. Shadows danced across his face. He wore only a black shirt, unbuttoned. I saw more ink. Ravens, roses, a saint with no eyes. I should have been afraid. Instead, I whispered, "Do you ever sleep?" He looked at me too long. Not anymore. He crossed the room, sat on the edge of the bed. The mattress dipped under his weight. I couldn't move much, the wound still raw. But I didn't pull away when his fingers brushed hair from my face. "You're trouble," he said. "You're the Mafia." His mouth curved, not quite a smile. And yet, here you are, in my bed, bleeding from my blood. His thumb traced my lower lip. Slow, deliberate. My breath caught. I hated how my body leaned into that touch, hated how I wanted more. He leaned closer. "Tell me to stop." I didn't. His kiss tasted like sin and smoke. Hard, claiming, not gentle, never gentle. His hand slid to my throat, not squeezing, just holding, reminding me who he was, who I was to him now. I kissed him back like I was starving, like I'd been waiting my whole life for this exact danger. When he pulled away, his eyes were blacker than the storm outside. "You just crossed a line, little one." "So did you." He stood. Left without another word, the door closed softly. But I felt the shift. Something irreversible. The days bled together after that. Recovery was slow. The wound healed from the outside in, leaving a puckered scar above my hip that ached when it rained. A permanent reminder that I'd stepped between a bullet and a woman I barely knew. Alessandro came and went like a shadow. Sometimes I'd wake and find him standing at the window, phone pressed to his ear, speaking rapid Italian I couldn't follow. Other times, he'd sit beside me and read the news aloud, voice flat, recounting violence like it was weather. I learned his rhythms. Black coffee at dawn, no sugar, 3 phones that never stopped ringing. The way he rolled his shoulders when tension crept up his spine. How he touched the base of his throat when he lied. A tell so subtle I almost missed it. And he was lying about something. I caught pieces, whispers from the housekeeper who changed my bandages. A name repeated, Dante. Always said with venom. Alessandro's younger brother. The prodigal son who'd vanished 2 years ago, with half the family's offshore accounts and a list of names the feds would kill for. Is he the one who ordered the hit? I asked one morning. Alessandro was pouring espresso. His hand didn't even twitch. Who told you about Dante? The walls have ears. He set the cup down, turned to face me. My brother is dead to this family. That's not what I asked. He studied me. Really looked. Like he was deciding whether I could handle the truth or if I was just another fragile thing that needed protecting. Finally, he said, We don't know who ordered it. But Dante would benefit most from our mother's death. He wants to come back. Thinks if she's gone, the old guard will welcome him with open arms. And would they? His smile was all teeth. Over my dead body. I believed him. The thing about Alessandro was this. He didn't lie with words. He lied with omission. Silence, He told you exactly what he wanted you to know, and not a syllable more. But his body? His body couldn't lie. I watched him move through the house like a caged animal, all controlled violence and restless energy. He terrified me, and God help me, I was drawn to the terror like a moth to flame. 2 weeks in, I could walk without wincing. The doctor cleared me to leave. Alessandro stood in the doorway while the man packed his medical bag. "She'll need to take it easy. No heavy lifting. Watch for infection. The scar tissue may be sensitive for months." Alessandro nodded, slipped the doctor an envelope thick with cash. When we were alone, he turned to me. "Where will you go?" I hadn't thought that far. My apartment was a roach-infested studio above a laundromat. The cafe wouldn't take me back. Too much heat after the shooting. The owner had called once, voice shaking, to tell me not to return. Said customers were scared. Said the Morettis brought trouble wherever they went. I had $400 in savings and a scar that made me a target. "I'll figure it out," I said. He crossed his arms. "You have 2 options. You can leave now, take the money I'm offering, and disappear. New city, new name. I'll make sure you're safe." My chest tightened. Or you stay. The air between us crackled. "Stay and do what?" I asked. "Whatever you want. Work for me. Work for my mother. Exist. I don't care. But you stay under my roof, under my protection." "I'm not a pet." "No," he agreed. "You're a liability. Someone tried to kill my mother and hit you instead. You think they won't come back to finish the job? You think they won't use you to get to me now?" He had a point. A brutal, terrifying point. I looked around the room. High ceilings, marble floors, gilded cage. "If I stay, I'm not your prisoner." "Agreed. And I'm not your whore." His jaw tightened. "I don't pay for sex." "Then what do you want from me?" He stepped closer. Close enough that I had to tilt my head back to hold his gaze. Close enough to smell the mint on his breath. "I want you to stop running," he said quietly. "I want you to let me keep you alive. Everything else? We'll figure it out." It wasn't a declaration of love. It wasn't even a promise. It was a transaction wrapped in something that felt dangerously close to care. I should have said no. Instead, I whispered, "Okay." If you're already hooked on my story, remember, these videos take dozens of hours to write and narrate. A quick subscribe keeps the channel breathing. Because trust me, you're going to want to know how this ends. I moved into the East Wing, a suite with a balcony overlooking the cliffs and a bathroom bigger than my old apartment. Alessandro's room was on the opposite side of the house. I told myself that was good. Safe. I was lying. Every night I lay awake listening to the house settle, the creak of floorboards, the distant murmur of guards changing shifts, and sometimes I heard him. Pacing. A door closing, the clink of glass on glass. We fell into an uneasy routine. Mornings, I'd find breakfast waiting in the solarium. Fresh fruit, pastries, espresso in delicate porcelain cups. His mother started joining me. She was elegant in that old-world way. Silk scarves and pearls, even at dawn. Her English was flawless, but accented. "You are healing well, Cara," she said one morning. "Thanks to your son." She smiled. Sad, knowing. Alessandro carries the weight of many sins, but kindness? That is his most dangerous weapon. People expect the monster. When they see the man, they lower their guard. Then he strikes. I set my cup down carefully. "Are you warning me?" "I'm telling you who he is, what this family made him. So when the time comes, you understand why he does what he does. And what will he do? She reached across the table, took my hand. Whatever it takes to protect the people he loves, even if it destroys him. The words settled in my chest like stones. She told me stories after that, about Alessandro as a boy, how he'd protected Dante from their father's rages, how he'd taken his first beating at 12 to spare his younger brother, how their father would come home drunk and violent, looking for someone to punish for his failures. Alessandro learned to read the signs, she said. The way his father's jaw would clench, the smell of whiskey on his breath. He would put himself between his father and Dante. Every time. He has scars on his back from belts, from fists, from broken bottles. My throat tightened. When he was 15, he fell in love. A girl from school, sweet thing, from a good family. They were going to run away together after graduation. But his father found out. Her voice dropped. He told Alessandro he had a choice. Join the family business or watch the girl disappear. Alessandro chose the family. The girl married someone else, had children. Alessandro made sure she was protected. Still does. He's kept tabs on her? I asked. For 15 years, she doesn't know. Every year on her birthday, an anonymous donation goes to her children's school fund. When her husband lost his job 3 years ago, he got an offer from a company Alessandro owns. He's never stopped caring. He just learned to do it from a distance. I thought about that. About the kind of love that protects by letting go. About the weight of carrying that much care in silence. Why are you telling me this? I asked. She squeezed my hand. Because I see how you look at my son, and I see how he looks at you, like you're the answer to a question he's been asking his whole life. But this life, our life, it doesn't allow for happy endings. It allows for survival, and I need you to decide if you can live with that. What if I can't? Then you leave. Before you break his heart. Before he has to choose between you and everything else. I pulled my hand away. He's already chosen. He could have let me go. Could he? Or did you make it impossible? The question hung in the air between us. That night, I found him in his study. The door was open. He sat behind a massive desk, surrounded by ledgers and screens showing security feeds from around the property. He looked up when I entered. Can't sleep? He asked. Your mother told me about the girl, about Elena. He went very still. Then he closed the ledger, leaned back. And? You loved her. I was 18. I didn't know what love was. Do you now? He stood, walked to the window. The moon hung low over the water, painting everything silver. Love is a liability in my world. It's a target on your back. A knife aimed at your throat. It's the thing your enemies use to break you. Sounds lonely. He laughed. Short, bitter. It is. I crossed to him, stood close enough to feel his heat. Is that why you're keeping me here? Because you think you owe me? Because you're trying to save someone you couldn't save before? He turned, looked down at me with those fathomless eyes. I'm keeping you here because every time I close my eyes, I see you bleeding out on that sidewalk. I see you making a choice no one asked you to make. And I can't. He stopped, swallowed hard. I can't let that image be the last memory I have of you. My heart cracked open. Alessandro. He cupped my face, both hands, gentle, reverent. You undid something in me that night, something I thought was dead. And now I don't know how to put it back. I rose on my toes, pressed my lips to his. He froze for a heartbeat. Then he kissed me back like he was drowning and I was air. His hands slid into my hair, tilting my head exactly where he wanted it. I gripped his shirt, pulled him closer, needed him closer. He backed me against the desk, lifted me onto it, stepped between my thighs. The kiss turned desperate, all teeth and tongue and barely restrained violence. His hands roamed, my waist, my hips, fingers grazing the scar through my thin shirt. I gasped against his mouth. He pulled back, breathing hard. I should stop. Don't. You're still healing. I'm fine. Tesoro. He rested his forehead against mine. If I don't stop now, I won't be able to. I threaded my fingers through his hair, felt the tension in his scalp, the way his whole body vibrated with restraint. Then don't stop! His control shattered. What happened next belonged only to us. The world outside, the violence, the secrets, the empire built on blood, it all fell away. There was only his touch, the way his hands mapped every inch of me, like he was memorizing a prayer. His whispered words in Italian I didn't speak, but understood in my bones. Mia, bellissima, mine. He was gentle where I expected roughness, reverent where I expected possession. He touched the scar above my hip with such tenderness, it made me want to cry. Traced it with his fingertips, then his lips. This is my fault, he whispered against my skin. No, it's my choice. Your beautiful, stupid choice. I pulled him up, looked into his eyes, saw everything he'd never say, all the fear and want and desperate hope. I'd do it again, I said. He kissed me then, like he was trying to consume me, to pull me so deep inside him I'd never escape. And I let him. God help me, I wanted it. Afterward, we lay tangled together on the leather couch. He traced lazy patterns on my bare shoulder. I listened to his heartbeat slow, memorized the rhythm. This complicates things, he murmured. I smiled against his chest. Everything about us is complicated. True. Do you regret it? He tilted my chin up, kissed me soft, slow. A promise. No, but I will if it gets you killed. The words landed like stones in still water, ripples spreading. Who's coming for us, Alessandro? He sighed, drew me closer. I don't know yet, but they will come. They always do. I started working the next week, not for Alessandro directly, for his mother. She ran a charitable foundation, a front mostly for laundering money and building goodwill in the community. But some of it was real. Scholarships for immigrant kids, a women's shelter downtown, a medical clinic in the poor district that didn't ask for insurance. She needed someone to manage the paperwork, someone she could trust. Why me? I asked. Because you took a bullet for me, without thinking twice. That kind of loyalty can't be bought. And you have no ties to any of the families, no allegiances, no debts except the one you don't think you owe. So I filed permits and wrote grants and answered phones. It was mundane, normal, almost boring. Except every Friday, men in expensive suits would arrive. They'd meet with Alessandro in the back office. Raised voices would echo through the walls. Sometimes something would crash, a chair, a glass, and when they left, he'd emerge with blood on his knuckles and ice in his eyes. I learned not to ask, but I noticed things. The guards doubled, new cameras appeared overnight. Alessandro started carrying a second gun, small, tucked in an ankle holster I only saw when he bent to tie his shoe. And he stopped sleeping entirely. I'd wake at 3 a.m. to find him watching me from the doorway, just standing there, silent. Come to bed, I'd whisper. Sometimes he would. Most times he'd shake his head and disappear. One night I followed him. Down the grand staircase, through the marble foyer, past the guards who pretended not to see me, into the wine cellar. He didn't go for wine. He opened a hidden door behind the racks. Stone steps led down into darkness. I hesitated. Then I descended. The basement was clean. Too clean. Concrete floors with drains. A metal table bolted to the ground. Tools hung on pegboards. Pliers, knives, things I didn't want to name. The air smelled like bleach and copper. My stomach turned. Alessandro stood with his back to me, staring at a photograph taped to the wall. I couldn't see the image, but I saw his shoulders shaking, saw his hands clenched so tight. His knuckles had gone white. "You shouldn't be down here," he said without turning. "What is this place?" "Where I do what needs to be done." I stepped closer, saw the photograph. A young man, early 20s, dark hair, Alessandro's eyes, Dante. Beside it, other photos, men I didn't recognize. Some of the pictures had red X's drawn over the faces. "You think he's alive?" I whispered. "I know he is. Got confirmation 2 days ago. He's in Croatia, building alliances with families that hate us. And he's coming home. To kill me, to kill Mama, to take everything and burn the rest." I touched his arm, felt the tension vibrating through him. "Then, why haven't you gone after him?" He finally looked at me, and I saw it. The exhaustion, the fear he'd never voice, the weight of 1,000 impossible choices. "Because he's my brother. Because I raised him, taught him everything he knows. Because when our father beat him bloody, I held him after, told him it would be okay, that I'd protect him." His voice broke. "How do I kill that?" I pulled him into my arms. This dangerous, powerful man. He collapsed against me, let me hold him while he shook. "You don't," I said. "Not yet. Not until there's no other choice. There may not be another choice. Then when the time comes, I'll be there. You won't do it alone." He pulled back, gripped my shoulders. "No, you stay far away from Dante. You understand me? If he comes for me, you run. You disappear. Marco has instructions to get you out." "I'm not leaving you. You don't get a vote." "The hell I don't." We stared at each other. Two stubborn people caught in a riptide neither knew how to escape. Finally, I said, "If he comes for me, I won't run. I won't hide behind you. I'll face him." Alessandro's laugh was ragged. "You think you can survive my brother? I survived you." That stopped him cold. I turned to leave. He caught my wrist, pulled me back, kissed me hard enough to bruise. When he released me, his voice was raw. "If he touches you, I'll burn this city to ash. I'll hunt him to the ends of the earth. I'll make him beg for death." I believed him, and that terrified me more than anything. 3 days later, Dante sent a message. It arrived via courier. A young kid, maybe 17, shaking like a leaf when the guards dragged him into the study. Alessandro took the envelope without a word, dismissed the boy with a gesture, opened the letter in front of me. Inside was a single photograph. Me, leaving the foundation office. Yesterday. The angle suggested it had been taken from across the street. Professional. Calculated. On the back, written in elegant script, "She's lovely. Let's talk." Alessandro's hands clenched. The paper crumpled. For a moment, I thought he'd explode. Instead, he went very, very still. The kind of still that preceded violence. "Get Marco," he said to the nearest guard. The man fled. I touched Alessandro's arm. "What are you going to do?" "What I should have done 2 years ago." "Which is?" "And this." Marco arrived within minutes. He was Alessandro's second, built like a tank, with scars that told stories he'd never voice, loyal to his bones. They spoke in rapid Italian. I caught fragments. Dante, meeting, warehouse. Tonight. I'm coming, I said. Both men turned. Absolutely not, Alessandro said. He sent me that picture for a reason. He wants me there. Which is exactly why you're staying here. I stepped between them. Looked Alessandro dead in the eye. I'm not some fragile thing you can lock in a tower. If this is about me, I deserve to face it. You have no idea what you're asking. Then tell me. He was quiet for a long moment, looked at Marco. The man nodded once, left. We were alone. Alessandro sat heavily in his chair, rubbed his face. When Dante left, he didn't just steal money. He took names. People we've protected, people we've buried, witnesses we've relocated, federal agents on our payroll. He's been sitting on that information for 2 years, waiting for the right moment to use it. And now is that moment. He knows I've changed, knows I'm vulnerable. He'll push every button I have to make me break. And if he thinks hurting you will accomplish that, he broke off, shook his head. I can't let him see you. Can't let him know how much you mean to me. My throat tightened. How much do I mean to you? He looked up, and there it was. Everything he'd never said. Everything. You mean everything. The words hung between us, precious, damning. I knelt in front of him, took his hands. Then trust me. Let me be strong enough to stand beside you, not behind you. He pulled me into his lap, held me so tight I could barely breathe. If I lose you, you won't. You can't promise that. Neither can you. He kissed my temple, my cheek, my lips. God, you're stubborn. Learn from the best. He laughed despite everything. Then he pulled back, met my eyes. If you come tonight, you follow my lead. You don't speak unless spoken to. You don't react. You're a ghost. Understood? I nodded. And if things go sideways, you run. Marco will get you out. No arguments, no heroics. You run and you don't look back. Alessandro. That's the deal. Take it or stay here. I took it because I was done being protected, done being the damsel. I'd taken a bullet once. I'd do it again if it meant keeping him alive. Even if it killed me. The warehouse squatted on the waterfront like a corpse. Rusted metal, broken windows, the kind of place where bad things happened and no one asked questions. We arrived in a convoy. 3 black SUVs. Alessandro's hand never left the small of my back as we walked inside. Marco flanked us. Armed guards fanned out, checking corners, securing exits. The interior smelled like brine and rot. Empty crates stacked against walls, puddles of stagnant water reflecting the broken skylights above. Dante was waiting in the center of the space. Alone. He looked like Alessandro. Same build, same dark hair swept back from his face. But where Alessandro was controlled fire, Dante was wildfire. Unpredictable, hungry. His eyes held a manic gleam that made my skin crawl. He smiled when he saw us. Brother, you came. You gave me little choice. Dante's gaze slid to me, lingered, traveled down, then up. And you brought her. How delightful. Alessandro's hand tightened on my back. A warning. I kept my face blank. Remembered his words. You're a ghost. What do you want, Dante? Alessandro asked. What I've always wanted. My birthright. You forfeited that when you ran. I left to save my life. Father was going to kill me. You know that. Father's been dead for 20 years. Dante's smile faltered, just for a second. Yes. Unfortunate accident, that. The air changed, charged. Alessandro's voice dropped to ice. What did you say? Nothing. just noting the timing. I was going to leave. And suddenly, Father's heart gives out. Dante shrugged. Convenient. I felt Alessandro's whole body go rigid beside me. Dante circled us like a shark. Did you ever wonder about that night, Sandro? About how a man who'd survived 3 assassination attempts just died in his sleep? Get to the point. The point is, I know what happened. I know what you did. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Dante stopped, tilted his head. Does she know? Does your pretty little hero know what you did to our father? I felt Alessandro tense beside me. Remembered what his mother had told me, the truth she'd carried for 20 years. Dante? Alessandro's voice held a warning. No? Then let me enlighten her. Our dear brother killed our father, put a pillow over his face while he slept, held it there while the old man thrashed, while he clawed at the sheets, while he... That's enough, Alessandro said. But Dante was grinning now, triumphant. She didn't know. Look at her face. She had no idea she was sleeping with a patricide. I kept my expression neutral. But inside, my mind raced. Alessandro's mother had said it was self-defense, that Alessandro had protected her. But this? Tell her the truth, Sandro. Tell her how you murdered our father in cold blood, how you staged it as a heart attack, how you've built this entire empire on that lie. Alessandro's voice was hollow. You know nothing. I know enough. I was there. I saw you come out of his room that night, saw the look on your face. You think I didn't understand? Dante laughed, sharp, cruel. I've kept that secret for 2 decades, but I'm tired of carrying it alone. He pulled out his phone, held it up. I have a recording. Your confession. You were drunk 6 months ago. Told Marco the whole story, about how father was going to kill Mama that night, about how you couldn't let it happen, about how you chose. My blood ran cold. That recording gets released and you're finished. The families won't follow a murderer. The council will vote you out. You'll have nothing. Alessandro didn't move. What do you want? I already told you. I want back in, full reinstatement, half the territory, and I want you to step down as head of the family. Never. Then your pretty little hero dies. Right here. Right now. Guns appeared. Dante's men materialized from the shadows, at least a dozen. All aimed at us. Marco moved. Alessandro's guards raised their weapons. Mexican standoff. Dante tisked. Now. Let's not be hasty. I'm offering you a choice, brother. Your pride or her life. Seems simple to me. Alessandro's voice was ice. If you hurt her, I'll end you. Slowly. Maybe. But you'll still be alone. Still broken. Still the monster our father made you. I couldn't stay silent anymore. He won't negotiate with you, I said. Dante's eyes snapped to me. Oh? And why is that, Kara? Because you've already lost. His smile faltered. I stepped forward. Alessandro tried to pull me back. I resisted. You think showing up with guns makes you powerful? You think threatening me gives you leverage? You're wrong. Your brother doesn't need the empire to be dangerous. He doesn't need the title or the territory. All he needs is a reason, and you just gave him one. Dante stared at me. Then he started laughing. Full-bodied, genuine. Oh, Alessandro, you picked a fighter. I'll give you that. But I wasn't done. You talk about that recording like it's a weapon. But everyone in this city already knows what he's capable of. They follow him anyway. Not because they're afraid, because he's earned it, because when it mattered, he made the hard choice. He saved your mother. He saved you. and you repay him by running away with money that wasn't yours. I took what I was owed, Dante snapped. You took what you could grab on your way out the door, like a coward. His face darkened. Careful, girl. Or what? You'll shoot me? Then you lose your only leverage, and he'll hunt you to the ends of the earth. You know he will. Dante's gun hand twitched. Alessandro's voice cut through the tension. She's right. You kill her. I have nothing left to lose. And you know what I'm capable of when I have nothing to lose. The brothers stared at each other. 20 years of betrayal and hurt stretched between them. Finally, Dante lowered his gun, raised a hand. The weapons around us lowered. I don't want war, Dante said, and for the first time, his voice held something other than mockery. I don't want to kill you, Sandro. I just want what's mine. I want our mother to forgive me, and I want... He paused, swallowed, and for the first time, I saw the boy beneath the monster. I want my brother back. Alessandro was silent. Dante continued, voice cracking. I made mistakes. I ran when I should have fought. I've spent 2 years looking over my shoulder, sleeping with a gun under my pillow, wondering if today's the day you send someone to finish me. His voice cracked. I'm tired, Sandro. I just want to come home. The air shifted. Alessandro stepped forward, slowly, hands visible. If you wanted to come home, you didn't need to threaten her. You wouldn't have listened otherwise. You're right. I wouldn't have. The brothers faced each other. Years of betrayal and hurt stretched between them like barbed wire. Finally, Alessandro said, You want back in? Fine. But you start at the bottom. You earn every inch of trust. You prove you've changed. You work. You sweat. You bleed. And if you ever threaten someone I love again, I'll kill you myself, brother or not. Dante's eyes glistened. He nodded. And you tell me who ordered the hit on Mama. Dante's face paled. It wasn't me. I swear on everything. I know. But you know who it was. A long pause. The warehouse was silent except for the distant sound of water lapping against the docks. Then, quietly, Uncle Thomas. The name detonated like a grenade. Marco swore. Alessandro's jaw clenched. I didn't know who Uncle Thomas was, but from the reactions, he was someone powerful, someone close. He wanted her seat on the council, Dante explained, words tumbling out. Wanted to bring the old ways back. She was blocking him, pushing for legitimacy, for going clean. He couldn't have that, so he made a move. And you knew? I suspected. I couldn't prove it. That's part of why I ran. He approached me, wanted me to help. I said no. Then he threatened me, said if I didn't disappear, I'd disappear permanently. Alessandro turned away, hands in fists. Get out, Sandro. Get out. Before I change my mind. Dante hesitated. Then he nodded, gestured to his men. They melted back into the shadows like ghosts. He paused at the door, looked back. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For all of it. For running. For threatening her. For not being strong enough to stand with you. Alessandro didn't respond. And Sandro, that recording? It doesn't exist. I lied. I needed you to listen. Needed you to understand how desperate I was. Then he was gone. When we were alone, Alessandro turned to me. Are you all right? I nodded, though I wasn't sure. He pulled me into his arms, held me like I might vanish. That was reckless, and brave, and so fucking stupid. You're welcome. He kissed the top of my head, breathed me in. Let's go home. Home felt different now, smaller, like the walls were closing in. We learned the truth, piece by piece. Uncle Tomas had been planning a coup for months, The hit on Alessandro's mother was just the opening move. He had allies, money, leverage, and he had something else. Dante, back in the fold, however tentatively, started talking, started sharing what he knew. Tomas had been building a parallel power structure, buying loyalty, making promises. 1 week after the warehouse meeting, a package arrived at the house. Alessandro opened it in his study. I was there, working on grant applications at the side desk we'd brought in, so I could be near him. Inside the package was a thumb drive and a note. Play this. Then decide if your brother is worth trusting. Alessandro plugged the drive into his computer. A video file. He clicked play. The screen showed a grainy room. Dante, younger, maybe 3 years ago, sitting across from a man I didn't recognize, but Alessandro did. I saw his whole body go rigid. Uncle Thomas, he whispered. On the video, Thomas slid a folder across the table. Dante opened it. His face went pale. The evidence is clear. Thomas's voice came through the speakers. Your brother killed your father, suffocated him. If the council knew, they'd demand justice. Dante's hands shook. Why are you showing me this? Because I need you to make a choice. Help me remove Alessandro. Help me restore the old ways, or watch him fall alone. Dante stood. You want me to betray my brother? I want you to save the family. Alessandro is making us weak. All this talk of going legitimate, of ending the violence, we're losing territory, losing respect. We're losing nothing. We're evolving. Thomas's face darkened. Then you're a fool. And when the time comes, you'll fall with him. Dante leaned forward. If you move against my brother, I'll stand with him. I don't care what he did to our father. The old man deserved it. Thomas smiled. Brave words. We'll see if you mean them. The video ended. Alessandro stared at the blank screen. I watched emotions flicker across his face. Shock, relief, grief. He knew. Alessandro whispered. All this time, he knew. And he never said anything. He protected you, I said. Then why run? Why take the money? Because Tomas threatened him. You heard what Dante said. He ran to save his life. Alessandro's hands clenched. I need to find Thomas. I need to end this. I corrected. We need to end this. He looked at me. No. You stay here where it's safe. We've been through this. I'm not. The door burst open, Marco out of breath. They hit the foundation, burned it to the ground. My blood ran cold. Was anyone inside? No. Your boss got everyone out, but it's gone. Everything. Alessandro was already moving, grabbing his phone, barking orders. Within an hour, we knew the truth. Tomas had made his move, not just against the foundation. He'd hit 3 of Alessandro's businesses in one night, sent a message, come find me, or I'll burn everything you've built. Alessandro called an emergency meeting with the council. They gathered at a secure location, a restaurant owned by the family, closed for a private event. I stayed with his mother at the house. She was calm, too calm. You knew this was coming, I said. Of course. Tomas has been circling for years, waiting for weakness. And now he thinks he's found it. She looked at me. Has he? No. Alessandro's stronger than Tomas knows. Because of you. I shook my head. You're the reason he hasn't become what our family tried to make him. You're the reminder that there's more to life than power, than legacy. You're his weakness, yes, but also his strength. She took my hand. There's something you need to know. About the night my husband died. My heart hammered. Your son told me. Self-defense. He was protecting you. That's what I told him to believe. What I needed him to believe. Her voice dropped. But the truth is more complicated. She led me to her private sitting room, closed the door, poured 2 glasses of wine. My husband was a monster. He beat me, beat his sons, for years. But that night was different. He'd found out I was planning to leave, take the boys and disappear. He was going to kill me, not just hurt me. Kill me. She sipped her wine. Alessandro came home, heard the shouting, ran upstairs, found his father with his hands around my throat. Alessandro pulled him off. They fought. His father grabbed a lamp, swung it at Alessandro's head, missed. Alessandro pushed him. He fell, hit his head on the corner of the dresser. Her hands shook. He didn't die right away. He lay there, bleeding, looking at Alessandro with such hate, such venom. And Alessandro, my beautiful boy, he just stood there, frozen, 14 years old and covered in his father's blood. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I was the one who made the choice. I was the one who took the pillow, who finished it. Alessandro tried to stop me, but I told him this was my burden to carry, my choice. I couldn't breathe, but he wouldn't let me. He took the pillow from my hands, said if there were consequences, he'd face them. He'd already pushed him, already caused the injury. He'd finish it, protect me, protect Dante. She looked at me. So, yes, Alessandro killed his father. But it was mercy. It was love. It was a boy trying to save his mother from a lifetime of looking over her shoulder. Does Dante know the truth? I told him 3 years ago, after Alessandro took over the family, after he started making changes. Dante was angry that Alessandro was going soft. I told him everything. Showed him that Alessandro's strength came from compassion, not cruelty. That our father's legacy was blood and fear, and our son was trying to build something better. Is that why Dante ran? Partly. He couldn't reconcile it, couldn't accept that the brother he admired had been shaped by trauma, not born into violence. So he left, took what he could, and now he's trying to come back. Do you believe he's changed? She was quiet for a long moment. I believe he wants to. Whether he can is another question. Alessandro came back 3 hours later, exhausted, angry. The council is split, he said. Half want to strike Thomas now, half want to negotiate. What do you want? I asked. I want him dead. But that makes me the monster my father was. I took his hand. No, it makes you a man protecting his family. Same thing. It's not. Your father hurt people for pleasure, for power. You'd be ending a threat. There's a difference. He pulled me close. When did you get so bloodthirsty? When someone burned down a building I cared about. When someone threatened people I love. He kissed my forehead. Thomas sent a message to the council. He wants a meeting, face to face. He's offering a truce. It's a trap. Probably. And you're going anyway. I have to. Then I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. We'd had this argument before. This time, I changed tactics. Fine, I said. I'll stay here. Safe. Where Tomas expects me to be. Unguarded. Vulnerable. Alessandro's eyes narrowed. You're manipulating me. I'm stating facts. You take all your men to this meeting. Who's left here? A skeleton crew? You think Thomas won't strike? He swore, ran his hands through his hair. You're right. Damn it. So, let me come. I'll stay in the car with Marco, out of sight. But at least I'm where you can protect me. He didn't like it, but he agreed. The meeting was set for neutral ground, an old church on the outskirts of the city, abandoned, holy ground, which meant something in our world. a place where blood shouldn't be spilled. We arrived at dusk. The church loomed against the darkening sky, all Gothic spires and crumbling stone. Alessandro squeezed my hand. Stay in the car. No matter what you hear, no matter what happens, you stay here. I will. Promise me. I promise. He kissed me, hard, desperate. Then he was gone. I watched him walk into the church. Marco stayed with me, silent, alert. Minutes passed, then 10, 20. Then I heard it. Gunfire. Inside the church. Marco swore, reached for the door. I grabbed his arm. Alessandro said to stay. He's in trouble? He's always in trouble. That's why he left us out here, to make sure I'm safe. More gunfire, shouting, then silence. My heart hammered. Every instinct screamed to run inside, to find him. But I'd promised. The silence stretched, endless. Then the church doors opened. Alessandro emerged, covered in blood, not his. At least, I didn't think it was his. He walked to the car, opened my door. It's done. Tomas. Dead. Tried to ambush us. Marco's team was already in position. We were ready. I threw my arms around him, felt him shake, felt the adrenaline still coursing through him. Did you kill him? I whispered. No, Dante did. I pulled back. What? Tomas pulled a gun on me. Dante stepped between us, took the shot meant for me. Then he put 3 bullets in Tomas's chest. Is Dante? He'll live. Medics have him now. Alessandro's eyes were hollow. My brother took a bullet for me. After everything. After I spent 2 years wanting him dead. He stepped in front of a gun. I cupped his face. Because you're worth saving. Am I? Yes. He kissed me. Tasted like blood and desperation and relief. Take me home, I whispered. He did. Dante recovered in the house. Alessandro's orders. The doctor set up a room in the medical wing. Around-the-clock care. Alessandro visited him every day. At first, he just sat there, watching his brother sleep. Then they started talking. Small things, memories, shared jokes from childhood. Slowly, they rebuilt what had been broken. One night, I found Alessandro on the balcony, staring at the sea. He asked about you, Alessandro said. Wanted to know if you hated him. What did you tell him? That you don't hate anyone. That you're too good for this family. I leaned against the railing. I'm exactly as good as I need to be. He smiled. You're better. Maybe. But I choose to be here. Choose you. Choose this life. He turned to me, took both my hands. I need to tell you something. My stomach dropped. Okay. My mother told you the truth about my father, about that night. She did. And you're still here. Yes. Why? I thought about it, about all the reasons I should have run, all the red flags I'd ignored, all the danger I'd walked into willingly. Because you're not your father, I said. Because every day you choose to be better. Because when you had the chance to kill your brother, you gave him a second chance instead. Because you're exactly the kind of man worth fighting for. He pulled me close. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you're stuck with me anyway. He laughed. Actually laughed. Full and genuine and free. Marry me, he said. I blinked. What? He dropped to one knee, right there on the balcony. Pulled a ring from his pocket. Simple. Elegant. Perfect. I'm not good at pretty words. I can't promise you safety. I can't promise you an easy life. But I can promise you this. Every day for the rest of my life, I will choose you. I will protect you. I will love you until my last breath. Marry me. Tears streamed down my face. That was beautiful, you idiot. Is that a yes? Yes. God, yes. He slid the ring on, stood, kissed me like the world was ending and we were the only two people left. We were married 6 weeks later. Small ceremony, just family, on the cliffs where we'd built our new life. His mother cried. Dante gave a toast. Short, heartfelt. Marco got drunk and told inappropriate stories, and Alessandro and I danced under the stars, two broken people who'd found each other in the wreckage. I love you, he whispered. I know. That's it? Just, I know? I smiled. I love you too, even though you're a pain in the ass. He laughed, spun me, held me close. We swayed to music only we could hear, and for the first time in my life, I felt safe. Not because I was protected, but because I'd chosen to be loved. And that made all the difference. 6 months passed. We settled into marriage, into life. Alessandro stepped down as head of the family. Not completely. He stayed on the council, advised. But he shared power, built something more democratic, less violent. Dante earned his way back, slowly, proved himself trustworthy. He and Alessandro would never be what they were as children, but they were brothers again. That was enough. I rebuilt the foundation. Alessandro bought a new building, better location, more resources. We expanded, helped more people. Life was good. Then one morning, I woke up nauseous, dizzy. Alessandro made me stay in bed, called the doctor. She examined me, smiled. Congratulations, she said. My heart stopped. What? You're pregnant, about 8 weeks. I looked at Alessandro. He'd gone pale. The doctor left. We sat in silence. Finally, he said, Are you happy? I touched my stomach. Thought about a tiny life growing inside me. Half me, half him. Terrified, I said. But yes. Happy? He pulled me into his arms. I'm going to be a father. You're going to be amazing. I'm going to fuck it up. Probably. But we'll figure it out together. He laughed through tears, kissed me, kissed my stomach. Our child is going to have a different life, he said. No violence, no fear. I'm going to make sure of it. I know you will. He was true to his word. By the time our daughter was born, Alessandro had pulled the family almost completely legitimate. A few gray areas remained, but the violence stopped. The wars ended. We named her Sophia, after his mother. She had his eyes, my stubbornness. Watching Alessandro with her, this dangerous, powerful man reduced to tears by a 7-pound baby, I knew we'd made the right choices. All of them. Even the ones that could have killed us. 5 years later, I'm writing this from the porch of our home. The ocean stretches endlessly before me. Alessandro's in the garden with Sophia. She's teaching him to grow tomatoes. He's still failing spectacularly, but he tries. We have a quiet life now. Simple, beautiful. He still has nightmares. So do I. Some scars don't heal, but we face them together. His mother lives down the road. Dante visits every Sunday with his fiancée, a sharp woman who takes no shit. They're working on forgiveness. It's slow, messy, but it's real. The empire still exists, but it's changed. Legitimate businesses, clean money. Alessandro advises from a distance, helps when asked. Otherwise, he's ours, mine and Sophia's. I published a book last year, a memoir about surviving, about choosing love over fear, about taking a bullet and finding a life worth living. It's dedicated to him, to the man who saved me by letting me save myself. People ask me sometimes if I regret that night, if I'd do it differently. I look at my life now, at my husband playing with our daughter, at the home we've built on the ruins of everything that tried to destroy us. And I always say, no, because that bullet brought me here, to this life, to this man, to this peace I never thought I'd find. Was it worth it? Every second, every scar, every moment of terror. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. Because love isn't about grand gestures. It's about small choices. The decision to stay when leaving would be easier. To trust when fear whispers run. To step in front of a bullet. To give a second chance. To choose forgiveness over vengeance. Alessandro taught me that. And I taught him that he deserved to be loved, not for what he could give, but for who he was beneath the armor. We're not perfect. We fight. We struggle. We fail. But we do it together. And that's enough. More than enough. It's everything. Sophia runs up to the porch, dirt on her face. Smile wide. Mama, Papa grew a tomato. It's tiny, but it's real. Alessandro follows, grinning like he's won the lottery, holding up the world's smallest tomato. See? He says. I told you I could do it. I laugh. Pull them both close, kiss his cheek, ruffle Sophia's hair. This is what we fought for. This moment. This life. This love. And I'd go through hell 1,000 times over to get here. So, if you're listening to this, if you're wondering whether it's possible to find light in darkness, I'm telling you it is. It's messy. It's terrifying. It's beautiful. And it's worth every scar. The bullet I took didn't kill me. It saved me. And the man I took it for, he became my salvation. Thank you for staying with me through this story. If it moved you, if it made you feel something, please subscribe. These stories are labors of love, and your support means everything. Until next time, stay brave, stay bold, and never stop fighting for the love you deserve.